what we see? We see a picture. The picture continues that the human shape. So the human shape is doing something else. Someone is communicating others, and someone is communicating others. Okay. So there is also a zigzag communication as well. This one is communicating him, this one is communicating her. Of course, you don't know the gender of the person they are communicating. And this communication is very important. Why this communication is very important? As in our many classes we have taught that communication became limited before the discovery of American continent, before the discovery of waterways, Vasco da Gama's Indian continent, before the discovery of, before the invention of aeroplane. Okay, so communication once upon a time was narrowed for the lack of scope. That means we didn't have aeroplane. We didn't have the idea that there is a blurred continent named America. We didn't have that the waterways may get connected from Europe and Asia. So for this reason, communication got multifarious dimensions. Those for motives and also for the channels. And that is, when I will be saying that is, I will be waving my hands to you, it's also a communication. And whenever I will be praising to you, very good afternoon to you, this is the oral communication. So there are the bodily communication, as we can communicate through the exposure, through the waving of our hand, and also through the twinkle of our eyes. You can get your eyes closed, noticing your beloved one. That will also be one kind of communication. And also, the other communication is that the road sign. Don't play home before the schools, hospitals. The speed limit will not go up to 40 kilometers. This is also a type of communication. Once again, the population of the world has increased a lot. Okay, so you see the picture. So many symbols are there, so many colors are there, so many nationalities are there. Though their names are not written over here, we don't know the nationality, but the different colors present there. The communication has got multifarious ways and importance. Communication is necessary. I said, what type of communication? Communication will be oral communication, as we can put over there, that they will be putting their hand together and they will be saying hello, or they will be enjoying the afternoon. If it becomes the rainy afternoon like this, they can't enjoy it. However, if it doesn't be that, if it not the rainy afternoon, they can enjoy with their friends, with their colleagues, with their classmates and everyone. So communication is not only for the purpose of your business, education and tourism, but also for your mental welfare as well. That is also a kind of communication. If you do chat with your friends, because this is not business chat, it might be business chat, but it also might be the chat that will make you happy. So chat, the road sign is a communication in the same way chat is also a communication.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Is this communication process a question-answer process of audio-visual method?
Now, I am speaking about communication. You are close, but this is the communication is the key. It's written over here. Communication is okay, but I am speaking about communication. Why communication and what are the ways of communication? I am here. I didn't say that it is audiolingualism or something else. Audiolingualism, of course, it deals with communication. And others, method of English language teaching, what we do, the main motive is for communication. But what is the dignity of communication? What was the importance of communication back in 14th century? And what is the necessity of communication back in the second half of 20th century? I want to make you understand the difference between the communication in 14th century and the communication in the second half of 20th century. Yes, ma'am? Yes. So that is the communication. So communication here, what we do in the classroom, you see the picture that some boys and girls they tie their knees. Okay. It's fun, but the way they are doing, that is the motive of communication. So they're doing fun. Okay. So this boy, someone is making her hand larger, someone is clapping, someone is doing, oh great, we have done it, oh we have tied our knees, so blah blah blah. So that is also one type of communication that we are delivering lecture in the class.
Sir, here violence is mixed with communication. The picture you're showing where man is tied.
Yes.
No violence is being shown.
Yeah, same times. So that is also a type of communication. That is message will be delivered. Okay, so then I have said. As well as in the 14th century or 12th century, we did not have the idea of American continent. We didn't have the waterways that Vasco da Gama discovered. We didn't have the idea of aeroplane. And also we didn't have the phone. So these are the core of communication. Who will be communicating with whom? And what are the channels of communication? You will be noticing there, first of all, that is written communication. Also, if you read newspaper, that will also be a kind of communication. That means you are reading the newspaper. And you are making a phone call and talking to your friends living in America or Europe and anywhere else. So that is also a telephonic communication. That means telephonic conversation. Then internet as well. Internet, anybody will be. Once upon a time, for the course of internet, we had been emailing our friends and family living abroad. But internet has come up with some other multifarious ways. What are these? That you can make audio call through WhatsApp. You can make audio call from Messenger. So, through internet, once upon a time we had been emailing for making communication. But at present, we can make voice call, WhatsApp, Messenger, Imo, and some other platforms are there. There you can make audio communications. And also media, sender, media, message, television is also a sort of communication. Reading, yeah, newspaper reading also, email, chat, as I have said. Chat is also one kind of communication. My neighbor will be making chat with your friends. Announcement, that will be also a kind of communication. When you are traveling abroad, you will have the communication. Please tie your signal before landing. Yeah, before tie your signal before taking off the airplane. So you will have that announcement. So that kind of announcement is also a sort of communication. In which way? That means the pilot will be communicating the message to the passengers on board the aeroplane. So the announcement is also a kind of communication. And also website discussion, listening, conversation, announcement, and these are. So everywhere there will be a sender. And through the channel, what will be the channel? Channel might be the website, channel might be the phone, channel might be the internet, channel might be the hard newspaper, the hard copies of the newspaper. Okay, there will be a sender. So one sender will be sending the message and other will be receiving the message. And through a channel. What are the channels? Here it may be phone, it may be internet, it may be website, it may be newspapers. So there will be a channel. Newspaper, both hard copies and soft copies. These are the.
In the case of newspaper, who is the sender? The publisher or the printer or the writer? That newspaper is merely being read by the reader with no listener to whom I am speaking through newspaper.
What do you think?
I think the printer or publisher or the writer who composed the
Printer simply print the newspaper. every newspaper there is an editor, okay, staff reporter or correspondent, okay. But one page, that is editorial page. Editorial page is done by the editor of the newspaper. And there are some columns, and there are some column writer. In that case, column writer will be the sender. And you know who is the receiver? Receiver. All.
Yes.
Whoever will be reading the newspaper all about the newspaper. So, in one point, we have various ways of reaching to the people living in other nationalities, and we have several ways of communication from a person from one nationalities to other nationalities. These are the channel, and the reasons are various. Understanding this, towards the second half of 20th century, the British linguists thought of developing a language teaching method or approach that is focusing mainly on communication. And that method or approach, both approach and method is called CLT, Communicative Language Teaching. So this CLT, these are the origin. That means in the 1960 decades, the British linguists, they thought of having some language teaching method based mainly focusing on communication. So communication is the must. And in this method, communication is the first goal. Okay. And the communication opportunities for the learners to experience and try out what they know. These are the principles of CLT. And also provide opportunities for learners to develop both accuracy and fluency. Though this question may be asked next time, but communicative language teaching mainly focuses on fluency. Fluency, that means you have to actually, there are some notions of communicative language teaching here. That is, notions and functions. These are the basic tenets of communication. Notion, that means you have to understand the message other is speaking. So if anybody speaks in British English, if anybody speaks in American English, if anybody speaks in French, German or Hungarian, you have to understand the notion, that means what does it mean, and also you have to answer back, that means what does the function you do. If you can understand the message, next time you have to convey the message, and that is the functions. So these are the basic idea of CLT. That means communication, notion, that means you have to understand, and then you have to convey the message. You have to tell something to make your message or meaning clear. And the next time you see that you have to make your meaning clear. So we start that fluency is the first. That means you have to got the fluency in communication. And the next time you have to make your meaning clear. And the fourth one is the contextual meaning. In which situation you are speaking that? Okay. In that case, grammar translation method, grammar accuracy, and the written type of communication is necessary. But in case of CLT, many of us might think that CLT is very, very good. Just like yes, no, very good type English. That means, are you ready? Yes. Will you go with me? No. Are you ready to go to lunch with me? Yes. So thank you very much. So yes, no, thank you very much. If you do so, but in case of CLT, you have to understand the function. You have to understand the meaning delivered by the other speakers, and at the same time, the contextual approach, in which approach you will be speaking what. As well, if you go outside, you have to buy something, you can ask a seller, how may I pay this? May I pay this in credit card or check or something else? What's the price? How much is that? So that are the communication. That if you are asked to make an appointment to for an embassy, so the context is different. There you can say that how much is the shirt, sir? You have to contact with the foreign embassy for some issues, not in your vocabulary. So contextual approach is very important in CLT. So provide opportunities to the learners to accuracy and fluency. Link the different skills such as speaking, reading, listening together, and since they occur so in the real world. So everything will be connected to the real world. In case of GTM, you will be the master of knowing the knowledge or the vocabulary of the target language. But in the actual situation, in the real world, you may write good English. You may communicate email communication properly. But in case of oral communication, you may have some difficulties. If that is the criticism against the GTM. But CLT came as an effort to make oral communication more effective. And for this reason, you have to understand the knowledge of the target language, and you have to have applied in the real world. That is the target of CLT. Because at the second half of the 20th century, it thought that is industrialization of thing. Lots of people left one country and go to other country for business, education, industry, and others. These are the things you will have in your real life situation. And understanding all this, it became crucial to have a method that is called CLT, that is Communicative Language Teaching. What's the main purpose? There are some purposes of communicative. To prepare students to be confident communicators. Whenever, once upon a time, whenever we have been following, even in Bangladesh, you will see that we up to 1990, we had been following GTM. But from 1993, the government taking the decision that we will be following CLT, that means Communicative Language Teaching. And our father and mother, and especially I, when we got SSC education, we had Antonin syndrome. We had years of years, so many things related to the vocabulary building. But whenever the education policy moved from GTM to CLT, we can see some kind of the communicative reading comprehension. That means you will be reading, and then you will be putting tick marks, and you will make the communication as real as the real life. That is the motive of the CLT. Here, one thing is that why it does so, to make the student confident. I wanted to tell you that whenever GTM initiated, if anybody, GTM always requires accuracy. You have to be accurate in pronoun, especially for spelling. You can't make mistake in spelling. But in case of CLT, it is then what happened to the students who will be learning English in GTM? They will be speaking that, yes, GTM, oh, if I make mistake, other friends will be thinking that what I have done, if I make mistake, oh, other will be doing, I read in the email process, I can't make mistakes. So there is a confusion from the student side. CLT said, no, mistakes is always welcome. Make mistake as many as you can. Through the mistakes you will get the real one. So one of the good principle and purpose of CLT to make confident communicators. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And real life context, of course, and also through repetitive oral practices. Repetitive oral practices. Why you have to have presentation in all courses? Just to make that right. Whenever I started my first class, I was a little bit confused and afraid as well. What I have to do and what I will tell in 1 hour and 30 minutes class. But through the gradual process of listening, I have learned the confidence. In this way, in every class, there is a presentation. Why? To make you confident, so that in your job field, whatever you may be the director, you may be the MD, you may be the banker, or whatever you will be the profession. And many of you will be the teacher as well. So is this the situation you have to present a session with confidence. And through the gradual process of oral practice, like presentation and others, you will be a confident. I got this in my hand. So, oral practices. And in CLT, communication is the end and the means of teaching method. Another thing is that communication, you have to be interactive. You will be talking and I will be answering. I will be talking and you will be answering. I will be asking and answering. So ask and question. Group work, co-work, co-study will be dealing in case of CLT. These are the advantages of CLT, enhancing students' competence in speaking English in various situations. Exactly whenever you will be saying that yes, if you make a mistake, you will be punished. If it is said that if you make 3 pronunciation wrong, then you will get punished. Then that would be get your confidence level to know. But here we see that the students' competence in speaking English in various situations, not in one situation. They will play. What would be the syllabus, what would be the class, what would be the other thing, that is all displayed in this CLT method. In this way, everything will be done in such a way that you have to be efficient in communication in various situations. Contextual speaking will be done. Encouraging students to practice their English in real communication, stimulating the students to speak communicatively, more or less same issues, and motivating students to be brave, interacting using English, or the target language, whatever may be. Okay? So there are some disadvantages of this communication. Yes, come in. You are too early for the next class.
Yeah. Can you show us the previous slide?
Put your attendance 0.5%. Yeah? Or 1%. Yeah. Slide will be given. Okay, I got the point. Put your signature over there. Okay. It doesn't mean that I'm good, isn't it? So these are the advantages, disadvantages. Advantages. Did you finish writing? The slides will be given next time, okay? But try to catch what I am speaking that are not in the slides. Yeah. Okay, so there are some disadvantages of communicative English language teaching. Okay, that is, if the teachers understand the students, we have good communication, but the native speakers of the target language can have very difficulty understanding the students. So there is a gap. Whenever you will be encouraged to make mistakes, or for what? For what that? Yeah, try to be a fluent speaker. Mistake doesn't matter. Okay. Then you have encouraged a lot that you have started speaking in such a way that you are using Spanish in every time. Okay. So whenever you will be put in a real situation when you are supposed to go to America or Britain or UK, then in the real situation you are confident and you are speaking in such a way, you are using English, but that English is not quite similar to the standard British pronunciation, not 25% of the British standard pronunciation. So what could be the problem? Then the native speakers in many cases can't understand you. You have got the fluency, but you are making so many silly mistakes that you can, many can't make the proper communication. And that is one of the drawbacks. It means, what does it mean? That means for getting fluency, we have sacrificed accuracy. We have sacrificed accuracy in such a way that we have nothing, what can we call accuracy in CLT learning students or CLT approach. This is one of the drawbacks. That means accuracy, of course, fluency of course is needed, but accuracy we can't deny it. But in CLT, fluency is encouraged, and for this reason, accuracy is discouraged in such a low degree that anybody will not be an appropriate speaker, especially if he or she is put in a real situation where he or she has to communicate with foreign or native speakers. And another thing, that is whether it is effective or not. CLT will be effective or not. First question is that yes, if CLT would be effective, that CLT would be the last approach, isn't it? After CLT there wouldn't be any other approach or LT. Okay. But we see after CLT we have many approaches and methods, especially language teaching, especially second language teaching. Is a diversified phenomenon. And whenever many students will be learning various languages, as we have known, that is nearly 3,500 allied languages in this world. Okay, the people of the population of this world is increasing day by day. So whenever population of the world increases, their demands increases. So the multifarious wills of the multifarious necessities will be there for learning language. For this reason, language learning is always a field of research. And through the research, we have learned many things. And even language learning now attached to psycholinguistics, that means sociolinguistics and other fields. So language learning is always a field of research, and for this reason, in this regard, we can say that CLT is well enough, but it will have some shortcomings, and for this reason, it will serve the purpose if it is said in the proper way. If we apply CLT in good way, then it can serve our purpose. It can serve the purpose of any mission. It can serve the purpose of any kind of business communication or other communications. Okay. So that is the result of CLT, and the EFF students consider CLT activities to be motivating. Moreover, the students feel more motivated when they were involved in communication activities because such activities help them improve their fluency, pronunciation, and performance when using English for communication. Because CLT, where oral communication is must, you have to make oral communication. Written communication, not necessary. Necessary, but not necessary must. And for this reasoning, it will serve the purpose of the second language learner if it is put in proportion. We have said about that approach focuses on fluency, not accuracy. This is another. And what are the challenges? Challenges, that is teachers' misconception, lack of training of CLT teachers. There are some challenges. Okay. And in case of oral communication, so I said that whenever you will be making communication in real situation, if you are sent to America or UK, you can serve the purpose. So what is the fault with it? You have learned well, you can speak well. But Bangladeshis can understand you, but Americans can't understand. The British can't understand. What's the problem? The problem is not with you. Problem actually the lack of efficient CLT teachers. The way of communication, how he will be, our teacher will be informing the students in CLT method. He doesn't know that approach. Okay, so that is the challenge. And also, the deficiency in sociolinguistics competence, little time for developing materials for communications. Okay. Whatever, if you see slides, okay, but these slides are not from any book, though we are following a book, Richard and Rogers. But these are that means some teachers or many teachers can't pay heed for making effective CLT classroom materials. And that is one of the challenges that CLT will not. And also large classes. Okay. Oral communication is good, but nearly 15 students is quite good for CLT classes. But we have 85 students. We have 90 students in a class. So how and in which way you will make the classroom effective? That is another challenge of CLT. And also the lack of support. Okay, that is large classes. Other difficulties includes grammar-based examinations. Examination is also a challenge. Okay, in many schools and colleges, there's no viva voce. There's no listening test, and still you will say that in many. So if there is no viva voce, your oral proficiency will not be tested. But CLT is mainly based on your oral communication. Okay. So the difficulty is grammar-based examination. You have to write some sentences, write an essay, write an application. Okay. Write a paragraph. That means we are judging only your writing capabilities, but we are not judging your speaking quality. In university level, in most cases, you have to sit for the viva voce to test your oral communication. So oral communication shouldn't be tested in many schools and colleges. That is also one of the challenges in CLT. You can speak well, but you don't have the scope to show your oral proficiency. That is, you are a good speaker. This is for the lack of educators' planning. This is not the fault of CLT, not the fault of the learners. And insufficient funding. Insufficient funding, as you know. You see here the AC classroom speakers are there, but in 95% of the classroom in Bangladesh is out of this speaker, is out of this projector, and something else. So, if there are insufficient funds, so the projector, computer, laptop will not be provided. Okay. So, insufficient funding is also one of the challenges of CLT, and also the lack of support. Okay, lack of support. Support means yes, support from every side, not from teacher. Oh, he speaks good English, but he can't write good essays in your answer script. Many he speaks good, she speaks good, but he can't write well. Many teachers of us or you, we might say that yeah, he is good in speaking, so it's a one kind of lack of support. And even okay, if you make a mistake in your class, your guardian or parents or your friend will say, oh, what the hell you have done? You are making a silly mistakes. You study in MA, so that is also a lack of support. They are not encouraging. Okay, well, friend, proceed on. Okay, you will be a good speaker. Human being. Of course, they will make mistakes. It's very common, but they will not encourage you. They will try to discourage him to the every power they have. Yes?
Second language line in such a way. From our highest stage, we will focus speaking, listening, reading, and writing.
Yeah.
So our next language will be syntax, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think so.
Now, actually, if you learn your native language through the process, why? Put it over there, take it off. In the classroom, here. Please make it silent. Make it silent, please. And don't allow me to ask this question next time. In the initial classes, we have said so. Again, everybody will be putting your cell phone in your bag or keep it in silent mode if it is not the urgent call from your mom, father, or something else. Okay, so these are the challenges of communicative English language teaching. And there are some criticism. There is a limited insights until they become virtually meaningless. It makes exaggerated claims for the power and novelty for its doctrines. It misrepresents the current of thought it has repressed. It is often characterized by serious intellectual condition. It is chocked with jargon. Jargon means everybody will be, you will have so many oral practices. So the one thing will come again and again. That is the repetition. Repetition will be one kind of jargon. So suppose a contextual practice will be here. Okay, so if the classroom, CLT classroom is not varied with so many task-based activities, so it will be a repetition. And that repetition is one kind of criticism in case of CLT. That means if one syllabus is followed 1 year after 1 year, then you will see that kind of result. There is student getting CLT education, but they are not getting proper knowledge for applying their language knowledge in various contexts because syllabus is limited. So you can't practice. You are practicing same syllabus again and again, but in the same time you are getting narrow idea, and at the same time you are not able to apply your knowledge in multiple sectors or multiple contextual situations. These are the challenges. There are some limitations of. So, and in this CLT you will have some sequential task will be there, okay, in CLT. Wide range of activities will be there. So what you have to be done for implementing or having CLT in proper shape. And so for this region, multiple wide range of activities should be applied in CLT classrooms, so that you can be. Some other students are laughing at because they have come just 10 minutes ago. So they said that not I am late. Wow. So communicative competence will be there, communicative principles will be there, task principles will be there, meaningfulness principles. Okay, principles will be there, activities will be there. You have to be apply with this, and learning activities, introductive language games. Okay, so many varied subjects will be there in case of CLT. So through the second half of 20th century, the British linguists all over the world, they thought that there is a growing tendency for oral communication, the increases of oral communication. That initiated a method, that method can be called CLT, that means communicative language teaching. In this communicative language teaching, fluency is must. You have to be efficient for making oral communication, and for this reason, that fluency is needed. And for this reason, the students may make them efficient in making oral communication. That is the motive and principles of CLT, and applying several kinds of task activities. That was applied. Though any method is not out of criticism, there are some advantages of CLT as well as there are some disadvantages of CLT. And I have said that yes, CLT, if CLT is purposeful enough to serve the purpose of second language learner, then there would be no other method. Still, after CLT, we see many methods. But that logic can be refuted in such a way that language learning and teaching is always a phenomenon where you will have multiple research. At that time, English language teaching or the second language teaching are related with psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, and other linguistics phenomena. And for this reason, CLT is not hierarchy. However, CLT can be applied if it is applied in a proper shape that can make you confident speaker, clear speaker, and as well as the accurate speaker. Okay. So thank you very much. John, put your hand in your cheeks.
Sorry, sir.
Eh?
Sorry, sir.
Sorry. Only you sorry. Many of you have put their hand in their cheeks. So thank you very much. Yeah? And